Hey guys, it's Erin. So, in the fall of 2020, I went on a trip to Chicago, and one of the places that I went to was the Chicago Botanical Gardens. And not only was it an absolutely gorgeous place, but it was a gorgeous day. I went in the fall, so not only were there the beautiful sights of the garden itself, but all of the trees and surrounding plants and everything all had fall colors. So I thought, since it's difficult for us to travel right now, that you might enjoy going through like a video diary of my trip, and I hope that you enjoy it. So the first thing that we have is this gorgeous fall forest. You can see the bright blue sky in the background and the yellows, reds, and greens. This wasn't actually even the garden itself, it was the trail on the way in, so it was just the perfect time. This is the first thing you see when you walk in, which is so bright and green and perfect. You can see the sky, the water behind, and some willow trees and pink flowers and just bright, beautiful colors. Then they have a little boardwalk that you can walk along. You can sit and read or write, look out into the water, or you can continue on. But I decided to hang out here for a little bit and look down into the water. And I saw these absolutely massive fish. I've never seen fish this big in person, and I don't know what kind they are, unfortunately, but it was a shock to look down and see fish that big in the water. Here we have a beautiful display of pinks and purples. They look to be perhaps like mums or something like that. I'm not great with flowers, I just enjoy looking at them. So we have bunches of pink and then shoots of purple. There's lots of water and bridges here, and I particularly liked this area because as I looked up, I saw this tree that was bright red, almost like it was on fire or something, and so I stopped to take a picture. Here we have a little gathering, like a curated gathering of potted plants. So just kind of on the walkway, there's lots of different walkways and bridges to get you from one place to another. And you can almost always see water, some kind of water feature. So you can see, like I mentioned before, that's like the perimeter of the garden, but because of the fall colors, it's so beautiful, even though it's not even an exhibit. I really loved this tree because I feel like it represents every color of fall in one spot. So you have reds, greens, oranges, yellows. It looks like it's in the middle of transitioning, which I thought was really beautiful. Here we have some almost like orangey pink flowers, and then the ones behind it, it reminds me of like cabbage or lettuce or something like that. I know it's not, but that's just what it reminds me of. And then they had a bonsai tree exhibit. There were a bunch of different ones, like this one, which has like a bleached trunk with red leaves. And they had a variety of different ones on different pedestals with plaques next to them to kind of explain what they were. This one was one of my favorites because it reminded me of just a mini autumn. Like, just all of those colors that I saw before in one little mini package, and I just thought it was the cutest thing. I love these little cute trees. This one is so detailed and awesome. It has like 2 or 3 different trunks shooting out, and the most tiny, delicate little leaves. And I just enjoyed the like detail on there. Then we have this one, which almost appears to be a miniature of something from a different country. So maybe like Japan, or they have other similar trees in the garden as well. A lot of these are miniatures of other displays that they have around the garden, which I thought was really cool. This one has like little berries or little flower buds on them, red ones, which I enjoyed sort of the pop of color that was on there. I thought it was very unique. Here we have an area where they had hanging baskets on display. So it was a long walkway with hanging baskets, and much like everywhere else, the backdrop of the trees with the fall colors just made it extra beautiful. I put this on my Instagram page with the caption, "After all, you're my Wonderwall." Anyway, here's Wonderwall. So this was really cool, and there were a couple of different wall flowers. This isn't even part of the display. It was literally in an employee parking lot, but it's so beautiful. Just the brightest bright red. I don't know that I've ever seen a red tree like that. I took quite a few artistic-y pictures like this, just kind of stopping and enjoying the forest through the trees, so to say, and all the different water features that were all around the gardens. Here we have another tree in like sort of transitioning from one color to the other, and it was such a beautiful time to visit because I'm not sure if it would have been anything special any other time of year, but all of the different colors just made it something special. That's me. As you can see, I coordinated my mask with the gardens so we matched. So I had my flower mask on. It was during the pandemic, so I had to make sure that I was safe and also stylish. I love this picture so much. You can see there's a man who's reading under gorgeous fall trees, the bright green grass, and the beautiful blue sky. It was just a perfect day, to be honest with you. This area was designated as a like English or British gardens, so they had replicas of some gardens that you would find in other countries, and I don't know much about the plants, but there were quite a few like stone statues like that. This here was the entrance to a different section, and it was a Japanese garden, which was very beautiful and fascinating to me, and the entrance was just as beautiful as the rest of the garden itself. The plaque says Elizabeth Hubert Mallet, her childhood years in the Orient fostered a lifelong respect for and love of Japanese culture and landscape, and the garden was dedicated in 2006 in her honor. This was one of the bridges that connected part of the Japanese garden. It's really cool, but it's also very scary. There's no guardrails or anything. It was just 2 kind of slabs of concrete joined together, but I also thought it was very cool. This is a tree, kind of like the bonsai tree. I know what they're called, but I can't remember it. But the Japanese, shorter trees, they're so cool because it's nothing that we see around here in the east coast of the USA. So it was really cool to see in person. I posted this picture on social media and it was one of the favorite ones that I took. Just standing on the edge of the water, looking out to all of the fall colors represented by the tree line of the gardens. I felt very lucky to have been there at this time. And this is a poem in the Japanese garden. It says, "Softened by moss, these bones of the earth." And I took a picture of it because it was by someone in New Jersey, which is where I'm from. So New Jersey was represented at the Chicago Botanical Gardens. I liked this lone, beautiful yellow tree. Again, where I'm from, we don't have these vibrant fall colors. It wouldn't be a super long drive for me to go up north and see it, but it's not something you see every day. And this is another view of the sky and the tree line, the willow trees, the water, and all of the colors transitioning from one to the other, in addition to this little area down here with like lily pads and different water features. This was my absolute favorite part. They had a whole section, and I did not know this before I went, but they had a whole section of waterfalls. And you could kind of climb up the rocks and watch them go down, like travel along with the water. So you can see, I don't know if this is natural or if they made it like this, but it was the most beautiful and relaxing part. I could have stayed there all day and just watched the water go down the rocks and make its way down the little paths. Yeah, it was just the relaxing water sounds and watching the rushing water. It was like mesmerizing, like very meditative almost, and I just particularly like that sound. This is one of the last ones that I took. You can see the water from the waterfalls runs all the way down and then under the area where the people are standing, and then runs into the main body of water that you see as you tour the whole rest of the place. As you can see, as I mentioned before, I absolutely loved this part of the gardens and took many, many pictures. And waterfalls are not something that we have around me at all. And you can see like a family gathering with the Japanese garden in the background, the different leaves and like natural setting of the water, and the natural path that it takes down to the main body of water where it ends up. This was an area I actually stopped and sat here for a little bit. It was the most plush green grass, just like absolutely like a carpet. It was so beautiful and comfortable, and I kind of just sat there and took it all in, and had a snack and enjoyed myself. And this is sort of making your way out to the exit. There's a walkway with a final little bit of a quad, like a big courtyard area with grass and flowers and stuff. I particularly liked this area with the birch trees because it did remind me of home. So please let me know if you enjoyed this video, the style of it, and the audio and the pictures, because this is not the only trips that I have on or botanical gardens. This is the last thing that you see before you leave. But I have been to botanical gardens in Utah, in Pennsylvania, and New York, as well as other beautiful sites around the country. So I would appreciate if you let me know if you liked this and what you liked about it, and if you would like to see more, because I would absolutely love to share some of my travel photography with you and hopefully relax you in the process. So thank you so much for joining me on my travel vlog, and I hope that you enjoyed the colors and the flowers, trees, and all of the different exhibits that were part of the garden. And I will talk to you all very, very soon.